So, ladies and gentlemen, cybersecurity is no longer just an IT responsibility. It's an organizational responsibility. On our next panel discussion with the topic Cybersecurity Beyond IT, which brings together leaders from different business functions to discuss how every department plays a vital role in building a secure and resilient organization. And now it's time to invite our esteemed panelists. At first, I would like to invite Mr. Manoj Kumar Bindal, Senior Vice President, CSR and Disaster Management. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause, everybody. Up next, we'll be having Mr. Vikas Goyal, Senior Vice President, Legal Services. Let's give a huge round of applause. Mr. Ramesh Kumar, Associate Vice President, Facility Management. And lastly, we'll be having Mr. Avdesh Rathi, Vice President, Finance and Accounts, Agribusiness. Come on, everybody. And to moderate this discussion, we'll be inviting Mr. Balwant Singh, General Manager, Information Security. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a huge round of applause for this amazing upcoming session.
So we have an esteemed panelists from cross-functional departments, cross-functional leaders. See, when it comes to cybersecurity, we say that cybersecurity is not a technology, it's a kind of business resilience. When it comes to, again, cybersecurity, true resilience is achieved when every department works together cross-functionally, every department's leaders get involved in cybersecurity projects. While again understanding the information security, we anticipate the role of information security while it comes to identify the risks, threats, and how we are going to respond to the crisis. So please join me for this insightful discussion as cross-department leaderships share practical perspective on building a culture where cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility. So we have Mr. Vikas Goyal, who heads the legal department. I have a question for you, sir. Like we say that information security is often viewed as an IT issue. So from a legal perspective, why should every business function care about cybersecurity? What's their role in cybersecurity?
Thank you, Balwant. Am I audible? Okay. I guess this is a very relevant question. And first of all, I like to say, information is something which is just not confined to IT. And I'll give you the reason and the example. All of us, when we work, whether we work at home or we are doing some personal work, first thing that we do is we create an information. We create information, we process it, we store it, and then also we share it. Now, the chronology of these events may differ, but these are the 4 activities which each one of us do. Now, even if I take the example of, the corporate DS culture, let's talk of any department. I can talk about the legal department, but even if I talk of other departments, for example, HR, the most, something which on an everyday basis, on a regular basis, stores the information of employees, even the prospective employees. Finance, for example, finance is the most vulnerable for any of the breaches in the information. So is procurement. They deal with so many, vendors, many times, selecting for even one buying piece of one piece or one service, they need to engage 4 or 5 and then get into the selection process. So is sales. And of course, not to miss the legal. Legal will, of course, come into play in every forum and every places and every incidences. It starts right since the due diligences to contractual informations and incorporating those informations into the contract. And the responsibility doesn't end over there. It gets into, if there is a regulatory, risk around that, is there a regulatory, diligence on that? Is there a litigation on that? Is there a reputational issues on that? So I feel information is just not an IT risk, it's an enterprise risk. Thank you so much.
You well said that, when it again comes to information security, regulatory penalties because we have DPDP, so regulatory penalties, contractual issues are there where if we talk about any risk which gets materialized, then there would be a case of reputational damage as well. All right, so my next question to Mr. Ramesh Kumar. Rameshji, because physical security and cyber security are the subsets and are increasingly connected. What do you see, how do you see this relationship between cyber security and physical security?
Yeah, thank you, Balwant, and good afternoon all. See, physical security and information security are two sides of one coin. Physical security being a first layer in the organization. Stronger is the physical security, safer is our data. If we go deep into the core principle of cyber security, that is CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And if you analyze the availability and confidentiality, the 50% attributes to physical security. So that's why the organizations nowadays working and strengthening their physical security measures and working on 5D principles. One of the 5D principle in physical security, one of the principle is delaying the events. You know, if some visitors is coming at the gate and you find some, non-clarity in the entry of that particular visitor, you might delay the process, take necessary approvals, escalations, and then allow him to enter the premises. Because if this layer is strong, your data will be protected. I have not seen any cyber security incident, event in any of the organization or not read where the physical security labs was not involved. All cyber security incidents takes place because of the lapse in physical security. So yes, there is a relationship, and I was sharing with Bindal sir right now that I was going through a JD posted by some company yesterday. He was seeking a security manager, and he wanted all the elements of cyber security and information security in that particular profile. So it's very strange because of the data, because of the digital platform organizations are nowadays evolving at, they need a stronger practices at the first layer itself. So there is a great relationship between the physical and information security. It has go hand on hand.
Absolutely. So cyber security and physical security go hand on hand, and both are the side of a coin, right? So Rameshji told about CIA, which stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability of any critical asset. So that's very, very relevant to the question. Now my next question is to Mr. Manoj Bindal. Bindalji, since you take care of disaster management and business continuity programs, many people confuse that what's the difference between disaster recovery and business continuity. So can you please explain what's the difference, basic difference between both terms?
Thank you, Balwant, for this excellent question. It's a very pertinent question because unless we understand the difference between disaster recovery and business continuity, we will go wrong in our planning. Let me give you an example. Say in a well-to-do hospital like Medanta, Apollo, or one of such, which are widely dependent on IT for their processes, there is a cyber attack. So what happens? What is the sequence of action that will take place in that hospital? The disaster recovery team will get involved in rebuilding the databases, getting the patient portal online, ensuring the family's portal is online, the pathological tests are being shown to the doctor online. So they start rebuilding the whole system, IT setup. Whereas the business continuity team will get into a mode where they will ensure that the doctors keep seeing the patients. The emergency operations and surgeries are continued. The medicines are being provided. The families are being communicated. All the employees get whatever minimum information they require to continue doing their job. So the basic difference between the two is this, that business continuity team ensures that no matter what disruptions happen, the show must go on. Whereas a disaster recovery team ensures that the backbone to that business to go on is put back in time. So in this case, both go hand in hand. Both have to work simultaneously, but there's a tacit difference between the two of them.
All right. Thank you, sir. So business continuity basically ensures business must be running at the time of any kind of disaster. I have just one question to everyone. Have you ever experienced any kind of business continuity program in your professional life? Any business continuity program? Have you experienced? Have you seen? Have you taken part? Anyone? And if I say yes, everyone has taken part. Yes, please, ma'am. Absolutely. COVID is called as the best business continuity program when support functions were firefighting 24 by 7. So this is the best example of business continuity program. All right. My next question to Mr. Adesh Rathi. So because sometimes it is said cybersecurity is considered as a cost center. What do you say that, how do you view it in terms of, financial leadership perspective? Is it a cost center or is it a kind of investment center?
Basically, one misinterpretation of cost. Cost can be of two. One is in revenue nature, one is in capex nature, right? So capex nature expenditure give you a long-term benefit. Obviously, the cybersecurity falls under the second one, the investment piece, right? So capex investment kind of thing. It ensures the continuity of the business. It also ensures you are not safeguarded from the frauds and also regulatory challenges, right? If you, we really see the kind of frauds happening near about. See what is happening. The disruption of the business, you have to spend a lot of time to recover from that. Also, there will be a financial loss to the company. And then also, you need to recover as much faster as you can. So you can't say that it's expenditure, it's basically investment, which takes care of you for continue to have your customer trust. So that's the most vital of it. If you end up with this kind of issue, then why your customer will support you in any kind? No. It is unsaid need of the customer. You need to take care of that. There is no other option with you.
All right. So, uh, again, as sir told that IT or cybersecurity is not a cost center, it's an investment center. Not only IT, all the support functions are, days are gone when these support functions were called as cost center. Now these, all support functions are being called as investment centers because company is investing something and in return these support functions are giving some intangible benefits to the organization. Okay. My next question to Vikasji again. Sir, since we are working on DPDP Act and it's a kind of, robust act where there are a lot of penalties and it has become more stringent, what is your take that are the biggest legal risks organizations are facing today in terms of DPDP Act?
Here I like to say, we've been hearing the word DPDP since last probably 2 years. I would say, there is a scare about it. But I would like to say, please make it a bigger scare in your life and probably a day-to-day scare in your life. The purpose of this act was that there should not be any breach. And that breach can happen not only by putting a robust IT system, but the breach can also happen by human errors. In fact, there are a lot of studies which says the breaches are happening not because there is a technological failure, but breaches are happening because of the human error. The numbers are very high in terms of percentage. It's not a 50-50%. The number is very high in terms of human errors. And the most common examples, okay, before we come to the most common examples, this is not a new buzz. While people are saying that DPDP is a new thing, we've been hearing the word confidentiality. That's been there in our minds. Anytime we talk of agreements, we say, let's have a confidentiality. Or even before you get into a business deal, you say, can we please sign an NDA? So it's not a new thing. You wanted to secure your confidential information. You wanted to secure your proprietary information. There was another way by which we were securing our proprietary information, which was by way of intellectual property. Your trademarks, your patents, your secret formulas. So all this thing existed. Now, if the word DPDP has come in, it's also reinforcing the fact that if you take it lightly, the regulators are going to come much more stronger on you. Uh, well, of course, that's an area of scariness, and I want each one of us to feel scared and to keep reminding ourselves that yes, any breach is a matter of DPDP regulation. Because for me, it's just not the because it will lead to business disruption, it can lead to litigation, and it can lead to huge fines. And more than that, it can lead to a lot of reputational risk. And for any organization to grow, we talked about 97 years, we talked about completing 100 years, we talked about another 100 years. It is your reputation which will take you forward. So any breach by any human error or by technology failure or for any reason whatsoever will lead to a huge, huge reputation loss. And
Absolutely.
that's what the idea of the legislation is also.
Absolutely. So, sir mentioned a term human error. See, information security says that people are considered as the most valuable asset for any company. However, people are considered as the most vulnerable asset as well. Why? Because they carry the information on their mind. So point is that again, when it comes to DPDP, we have been maintaining our customers, employees, partners PI data. How we are making secure that data? Are we uploading that data on ChatGPT or any AI platforms? That we have to consider that how we are making sure that the PI data or the sensitive data we are handling is being protected. Thank you, sir. My next question to Mr. Rameshji, uh, uh, what physical security measures, contribute significantly to protecting the organization's information when it comes to, maintaining the data centers, all those things, hub rooms, what the physical security controls must be in place and how to handle them?
I already mentioned that every cyber event has got a physical manifestation. So now when it comes to entry gate, there has to be a smart visitor management system. We do have. Okay, if we have a smart visitor management system, we are actually controlling that risk at the entry point itself. It has to be very, very intelligent and very, very smart. This is first. Now, when we enter the premises, there has to be an intelligent access control system. We have also installed our advanced access control system with facial recognition feature also. It has got a capability of capturing the dynamic QR code also. For the time being, that feature has not been enabled. Maybe in future, we will enable those features for the extended security measures. But then, of course, facial recognition is there. This is the second thing. I'm talking about the most common, security measures which will control and protect our data inside the server rooms. Now, third comes a very important point is intelligent and smart CCTV system. So we have CCTV system covering all the critical restricted zones and common areas of the building. And we are trying to, integrate these cameras with artificial intelligence feature, whereas any deviation to the set processes is monitored automatically with minimum of human intervention. And we are even planning that in coming times, we'll have a human-less, operator-less CCTV room in the premises. It has to be intelligent enough to see and monitor any prospective physical risk. So I would say if we have these three area, the strong three area, we will able to mitigate and control many of the security risks.
Okay. So as per Rameshji shared that we have access control system, we have, CCTV surveillance system, visitor management, and secure server rooms. So all these physical controls are being in place to make sure that our physical assets or the data center must be secured. We have fire extinguishers, fire alarms, a lot of things we have in terms of physical security controls. My next question to Mr. Manoj Vindal. So what do you think that, again, when it comes to, crisis management, what should be the role of an employee while managing the cyber crisis or any kind of major disruption?
So the research talks about that about 70% of the data breaches that happen worldwide are due to human error in various forms, knowingly or unknowingly. We are spending crores of rupees in setting up technical controls to ensure that such an incident does not happen, that no one is able to intrude or penetrate our system. But one malicious email, phishing email, can bypass all the technical controls that we have put in place. So this proves that the human element is always very important, no matter what procedures and processes we set in. There is a term now being called as human firewall, as the ultimate bastion of defense. Last line of defense and first line of response,
Absolutely.
both of them. If an employee, when he gets a suspicious email, maybe from his hierarchy or from friends or from someone asking something which is quite suspicious, we have so many fake accounts being, it is his duty to immediately report it. Because in cyber security, time is of essence. A same thing reported within 5 minutes can save millions of rupees for the company, and same thing reported after 5 hours can ensure that it is of no use. So this type of education is important for the employee, that how he should be able to detect, what he should be able to detect, and whom to report in what time frame. And more so after that, after he has reported what he is supposed to do with his own system, like disconnect, switch it off, like there are some agencies which talk about don't remove the suspicious email, keep it so that the cybersecurity team can analyze it and find out lessons learned from that, or maybe to fight the same issue that is coming up. So the training and awareness programs of employees is very, very important to ensure that the weak point, that is the human element, is not exploited by the outside people.
Thank you. You must be aware about phishing emails because I think you have so many examples we have seen throughout the year, huh? So phishing emails are considered as the, most simple method for any ransomware attack. If a phishing attack takes place, your financial details, your personal details can be compromised. And as Bindalji said, that employees are the first line of defense. The moment you get any kind of, phishing links or any kind of, you see any kind of suspicious things happening around you, just inform to the right person and report it to the concerned persons.
One
Okay.
second, can I just add on?
Yeah, please.
Over a period of last few years, we have gotten into a very impulsive kind of a mechanism. If there is a post, you like it there and then itself. You don't take half an hour, you don't take 5 hours to like it. So that impulsive attitude has become a part of our life. If we are talking of human error, we need to also understand what's our human nature. Human nature is impulsive. We like, we keep seeing it. I see people, scrolling, how many likes I've got, how many likes I've got, how many likes I've got. It's a very impulsive one. We need to have a culture, we need to have a behavioral thing, which is completely opposite of that when we are talking of cyber attacks, we are talking of phishing one. That impulsive attitude has to have a pause and see whether it really requires to be clicked or not clicked.
Absolutely. All right. My next question is to Mr. Ades Rathi. So, because there are a lot of cyber crimes are happening, and one of the main domain is financial fraud. where people are, people get compromised. So when it comes to financial fraud, what are the biggest cyber threats people are facing, again, when it comes to their financial records or other things, data?
So basically, financial fraud or way of financial fraud is evolving day by day. So it had started with ransomware, phishing and all, wherein they approach a general public by sending emails or some way of communication. Then we saw the next phase, wherein it's a one-to-one kind of, wherein a person is getting mail with the fraudulent vendor request, fraudulent payment request, those kind of things. Now the third phase is going on. They are basically taking your identity itself.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's evolving and it will be continuing.
Yes.
So how a department or otherwise organization react to it? So what we do typically, we do have a bifurcation of role between broadly between operational and financial. So the initiator of the transaction should be an operational person, right? That operations can be of sales department, production department, or otherwise procurement department. And then financial department is acting based on what documents are received. And in finance department, again, you do have the maker checker. So before making any payment, it has to go through one or two layer, or at least two layer, I should say.
Absolutely.
So that way we are able to mitigate that risk. But yes, the next phase, what will come, that may be a challenging one. The reason being, we think we are not posting anything in the public domain. No, the public domain is having the information. What typically is happening, you post something on LinkedIn or somewhere else for which organization you are working with what capacity. So is the case for your CFO, CEOs and other members. So the person who wants to do fraud, they collect all the information, collect the information from the government side about your company. They do the complete list of your customers, creditors, or maybe top 5, 10 customers and vendors, right? And then based on that, they will send you something. And then obviously it will be a catchy to you because it's related to you. So how you mitigate? Mitigate it by seeing each and everything in detail. So that way we are doing to mitigate that risk.
All right. All right. So thank you. You covered basically invoice fraud, phishing, payment diversion, and fake vendor request, ransom, all those things. These are the things where, our financial records are being compromised. So when it comes to, again, compromising people, what attackers, they play psychologically with you. There are, they can play through phishing emails, wishing, smishing. These are the techniques of, attacking the people. So they play with your psychology. There are emotional attacks like fear is one of the factors. These are some kind of, threat vectors we have. Okay, in the interest of time, just one-liner answer I would look from each of you. First one-liner question is to Vikas sir. If you could give employees just one piece of advice to strengthen the information security, what it would be?
If I go back to the history, legal would say, please involve us since inception. I guess that phase is over. Legal is getting involved even at the due diligence level, not only at the contract level. My one piece of advice would be, as you have involved legal in the inception, so should you involve the IT in the inception. To make it more elaborate and more meaningful, anytime you get into a contract, the due diligence should also include, let's say, you're buying a good or a service, you want to see whether he actually has a manufacturing capacity to sell you 5 tons of whatever product or services and so on and so. You get into a financial due diligence. The third most important diligence that you should get into is the technical diligence. Do they have the sufficient IT infrastructure? Because any contract can say, yes, we have the sufficient one, but that needs investment in terms of money as well as investment in terms of resources. So just don't go by the word. Please see and please add technical assessment as a part of your regular exercise.
Rameshji, one-liner answer.
Please have a clear desk policy. Keep your workstation clear, clean all the times. Do away with all the clutters. I have seen the most productive people with cleanest of their desk. So it generate less paper. This would be my advice to the employees. And one more, if I can take that liberty, please follow the security guard. He is not saying anything of his own. He is just a custodian, primary custodian of the company's policies and procedures. So please do follow him. Don't get offensive. Thank you.
Manoj ji, please, one-liner.
So I'll address it in two
Advice
ways.
to employees.
Yeah. So the first is, like I'll say for the organization, that it should not be seen as a compliance issue, cybersecurity, that we are just ticking boxes, done. No, we have to build up a culture of resilience, cyber resilience in the whole organization. As far as employees are concerned, for them, I would like to say that pause before you click, verify before you trust, and report early before you regret. So these three things are important for the employee to follow.
So yes, I will second sir's opinion. It's not something which we can buy. It is a culture we have to build. This security and information security.
Avdesh ji, one-liner for everyone.
One liner could be verify the source, even if it is repetitive.
Yeah, all right. All right, so because of interest of time, we have closed this. What we have learned from this session is that we talked about, business continuity, we talked about CIA, confidentiality, integrity, availability, we talked about phishing emails, how to report the incident, disaster management. One example we gave, the COVID was the best example of business continuity program. Also, we talked about, financial frauds where we need to verify to whom we are, releasing the payment. So I think it has been a wonderful session. We have learned a lot of things. Can we have a round of applause for our panelists, please? Thank you very much. Thank you very much.